Welcome to episode 3 of. Do we have a name for this? I have Matt and Scott
Scott and
present the
Matt
Barbara book.
discuss Barbara.
I mean,
Right.
that's true. We know from Barbara's early albums, she would not have a complex title. This would just be Matt and Scott talk about Barbara. That's what Barbara would do it. If
It
you
is
missed
what it
our
is.
first 2 episodes, we handled her first 10 albums. We're going through every album, picking our favorite song today, in an effort to promote the Barbra Streisand, the music, the albums, the single book by Matt Howe. Welcome, Matt.
Hey, I can't wait for you guys to read this book. We've been proofing it and getting it ready for printing, and I just have been enjoying it myself. So I can't wait to share it with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, the first person outside of you and me has seen it because I did send it off to get reviewed for something. And normally you
Oh,
don't hear back when you send those things. They responded in 5 minutes and said, "This book looks incredible." And like
oh,
that kind of feedback from someone never happens. And so I'm like, oh, so I'm hoping
oh,
you get a good review for that. But
nice.
let's segue right into our first album is a Christmas album,
1968. 1968.
and we are here for a Christmas album. I have a feeling we're going to pick the same song on this because, as I said, I don't think Matt and I are going to pick very many the same.
Do
Right.
you want to go first, or do you want me to go
I
first?
want you to go first because I think we're going to pick the
Okay.
same one.
Well, I- I've always been a fan of Jingle Bells question mark, but I'm actually not going to pick that one today because I know it's so divisive. People either hate it or love it. Today, I am in the mood to pick my favorite things, which is from, I know it's from the musical The Sound of Music. What it's doing on a Christmas album, I have no idea, but it has this sort of amazing, like, minor key melancholy arrangement by Marty Payak, and Barbara sings it so beautifully. And the truth is, if you're making a Streisand playlist on Spotify or one of the things, you can just take that out. It doesn't. It's not necessarily. It doesn't read Christmas. It's just this great ballad version of a song that we usually associate with a really kind of, you know, happy-go-lucky surface musical,
I'm going to put
raindrops on
you,
roses and da, 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 you know.
I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot here. Do we know, is she the first person to put it on a Christmas album? Because now many people put it on a Christmas album, but do you know if she was the
Oh,
first? Because I don't know.
I used to know the answer to that. In fact, there's some article on the internet that I read once. When did Raindrops on Roses start appearing on my favorite thing start appearing on Christmas albums? I don't think she was the first, but she was one of the earliest.
I would think so, because I mean, she's doing it not too long after Sound of Music came out. But that was not
Right.
my pick. Mine was Jingle Bells.
Oh,
I
well,
love this song, and it's how I start Christmas every year to the chagrin of
yeah.
my family. Before we can start the Christmas decorations, I blast Jingle Bells, and that starts the Christmas season. My wife absolutely hates that song. She wants me to skip it when it comes on, but I have gotten permission that I can start Christmas with Jingle Bells, and then that's supposed to be
I
the one
told you
time.
it's divisive. It
That's
it,
weird to
it
me.
breaks up families.
Yeah. Um, Now we are to Funny Girl, the movie
Yay.
soundtrack. On the previous episode, we did the Broadway, and somebody called me out on Facebook for picking Cornet Man. They were like, "Really, Scott? There's no Cornet Man on this one." What's your pick off Funny Girl, the soundtrack?
I'm going to go with I'm the Greatest Star. It's the one I listened to the most when I first got the soundtrack. I love the arrangement as compared to the Broadway version. I think it's really funny, which, the Broadway one, in my opinion, isn't very funny. The jokes are sort of belabored and slow, but this is just this breakneck speed. I love Walter Scharf's arrangement. I love the notes. I re-listened to it today, and you know, uh, the earlier albums didn't have the spoken part in the middle. You think Beautiful Girls are going to stay at South forever? But the remastered CD does. And made it one step better by adding the humph.
Well, the humph is on the record.
Oh, it is on the record?
The
Okay.
humph is
I
on the
haven't listened
record,
to
but
that
I
in a
don't think
while.
it's on the CD. Is it
It
on the
is
CD?
because I just listened. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
But that
because
humph was missing from one version
yeah,
for some time. Anyway,
yeah, I
I
think it was.
love I'm the Greatest Star.
So this was the hardest pick for me, and I will submit, I think this will be the hardest pick for me because there are two songs that I have to pick, and I'm only allowed to pick one, but then I skipped ahead and I looked at the greatest hits, volume one, and I'm gonna be
I
okay.
did I did that too. We may have done the same thing, but go ahead.
So my pick is My Man. My Man
Oh,
is so incredible off this version. I like it so much more than the My Name is Barbara, and like at the end of the movie and the way she just growls, and I mean there are so many great songs off this, but I went with My Man.
yeah.
I think it's
Yeah, and it's
incredible.
she also doesn't sing the bridge in the movie. It's
And
just
I like
the
it
verse
without the
sung
bridge.
twice.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
It's
like the
it's
bridge.
all good.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
need the bridge.
Okay.
I don't need it.
Okay.
Next up is Central Park, which I just got this not too long ago. It was sealed, but I opened it this morning and
Oh,
listened to it. So I
oh
listened to this
wow.
one this morning to decide what I would pick. And I picked Marty the Martian. When I listened to it, it was the most fun. I really enjoyed hearing it this morning because I really didn't know which one to pick on. This is not one I listened to very much at all. Hardly ever do I pull this one out, so I had to listen. Mine is Marty. What did you pick?
Natural sounds. It's been my favorite ever since I heard the album. When I was doing cabaret in DC, I actually got a lead sheet for Natural Sounds because I wanted to sing it in concert, in performance. But it's written by Lan O'Coon for a musical called The Juggler, which I think went unproduced. But it's just the most beautiful, beautiful song to me. I think the lyrics are just so poetic and beautiful, and of course the arrangements. Even though there's a little bit of the out of tune strings because they're playing in such humidity outside at Central Park, I just think it's a gorgeous tune.
Um, and then I don't know, this is quite a jump. That what about today? Obviously, we both know a lot about Barbra and we love Barbra. If I was had to answer quickly and you said, Scott, what decade was what about today in? I would have said the 70s. But it is not. We're
Oh,
still in the 60s. This is a 60s
yeah.
album, which surprises me. This feels like 70s Barbra. First of all, would you concur that this feels like the beginning of 70s Barbra, or no, this is a strong
Well,
60s?
the album has a reputation of being a failed album because it was Barbara's attempt to be more contemporary, except that she used her usual arrangers like Peter Matz and uh, Michel Legrand. And so the album, to me, even though I know that it was supposed to be contemporary, to me it sounds very 60s. And I think we just need to stop doing that to this album. This album is firmly in the 60s and it sounds like it, even though a couple of the songs are the new songwriters of the 70s. That's my
Right.
opinion.
My pick from this is The Morning After. I
Uh,
There's something in her voice that you really feel when she says the morning after is too late. It's got that drama that we love from Barbra. It's a good lyric reading. Um, that's always been my favorite one from this album. What would you pick?
I like the introduction of that song, by the way. Dun, dun, dun. I went with another of my favorites that I just can't ever stop listening to, Punky's Dilemma. And did you guys know that she used to sing this live at her international hotel shows in July 1969? How crazy it would be to hear that live. The song was written by Paul Simon for The Graduate, the movie The Graduate, but it went unused. And then Simon and Garfunkel put it on one of their albums. And I just love Barbara's recording. It's this sort of stream of consciousness floating in a pool and then sort of imagining. I mean, it's really probably written as the main character in The Graduate trying to escape the realities of going to the Vietnam War. But that being said, the way Barbra sings it and the way Peter Matz arranges it, it's just so artsy. It's like an art song. I love it.
Yeah, it is a great one, and it sort of reminds me of, it has the feel of the song that's on Release Me One, about the little kid going to sleep. I mean, not that they're the same, but it's got that
Oh,
feel. What is that song? I cannot think of what the name.
Mother and Child.
Yeah, Mother and Child. It's got that strangeness of the
Yeah.
melody that I feel like Barbra is attracted to. She loves songs like that. I mean, you could certainly make that playlist of songs that are strange.
Yeah. I love
Um,
it. That's my pick.
I love your pick. That's a good deep cut.
Yes.
So why we're doing this is we want you to go out to tuckerdspress.com, pre-order the book. We're getting ready to ship this off. We need those pre-orders. They're helping us. Every time an episode is posted, pre-orders go up. So thank you for that. We really appreciate it. You're going to love this.
Yes.
It's beautiful. We're doing 5 albums a show. We're on our 5th album here. And next up is the soundtrack to Hello, Dolly. And I know you're going to pick the Walter Matthau tracks.
For the same reason, I'm not going to pick the Yves Montand tracks on a clear day. Do you want me to go first? Or?
You go first. I feel like I've been going.
Okay. Well, on Hello, Dolly, which, by the way, was one of Barbra's last albums to come out on CD in the 90s. I love Love Is Only Love, which is her big second act after the intermission ballad, written for her for the movie by Jerry Herman, but not really, because he actually wrote it for a show that didn't go forward, and then he stuck it into Mame in 1966, but then it got cut out of Mame, and so he repurposed it for Hello, Dolly, but he added the Horace Van de Gelder introduction. Obviously, that wasn't written for Mame. But I think this song, I mean, first of all, peak of her voice, the range of the song, this is a really hard song to sing. I mean, it has some very low notes, and then she, I mean, she really goes up there. And I also like, as an older person, I like the message of the lyric, which is, the violins are all a bluff. If you realize the silence in his eyes, then, oh God, I'm getting it wrong. But anyway, it's about love doesn't have to be dramatic. Love is only love, and there's not violins all the time. Sometimes it's just a quiet thing. A quiet thing.
Quiet thing. There you go. So I don't know a ton about Hello, Dolly. I missed Bette Midler's Broadway thing. Did they put this in? Did they put Love Is Only Love in?
No.
Okay.
No, they gave Horace a new song, but not Bette.
I just wondered because I never saw that. I never saw that production. It's hard for me.
It was really good.
That's what I heard. But, you know, Jerry Herman was snotty to Sondheim during Sunday in the Park, and I can't get past it. Sorry. So my pick for Hello, Dolly is So Long, Dearie. I love this song. And it's so funny in the movie, and she does a great job. I love up-tempo Barbra, as people are probably starting to get from my picks.
Yeah.
And this is one that I can listen to all the time. It's definitely in my continual playlist. Like, I just love that song.
So Long Dearie is another one she used to sing live at International Hotel. It's on the video if they ever release it. It's
sure
fantastic.
And so that is our episode. You know, we're just going through week by week to get you to April 24th when this book comes out. It's full color. It's 300 pages. It's got every album. If you're a Barbra fan, you want this book. tuckerdspress.com and pre-order.
Thank you.